Hey, what's up everyone? Adam here with brahwegotthis, and today I'm going to show you 3 money-making tips just from the new expansion Greymoor for the Elder Scrolls Online. And the great thing about these tips are they are things that any player can do no matter your level or skill. I also have a complete money-making guide that I will link in the description that covers tons of methods throughout the whole game, but this guide is solely going to focus on new money-making ventures in Greymoor. Before we get started, I want to mention briefly that if you want to watch me play live, you can always watch at twitch.tv/brahwegotthis on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to join new and veteran players in a growing community, make sure to join our Discord and our Guild, the Necrodaddies. The links to the Discord and Twitch are in the description. Lastly, if you want to stay up to date on my social media, my Instagram and Twitter is in the description as well. So every new expansion, there are a few things that people don't realize and capitalize on at first when the expansion drops. And so I want to share these with you. A lot of these stem from the fact that the expansion is brand new and the items I'm going to go over are going to be in high demand. It happens every single expansion. Tip number 1 is farming the public dungeons. With the new expansion will come 2 new public dungeons. Here we go. Labyrinthian and Nichthinkart. I know Labyrinthian was in like Skyrim, but holy crap, that was a mouthful. Sorry for butchering all of that. Please forgive me, lore scholars of ESO. But the Labyrinthian public dungeon is above surface in Western Skyrim, and the Nichthinkart one is in Blackreach below the surface. In the lab one, I'm just going to shorten it. In the lab public dungeon, you will have a chance to receive the stone husk fragment drops. Now, in the previous expansion, you had mummified Alfiq parts and another fragment that I can't think of off the top of my head right now, but it was in the other public dungeon. What these fragments do is make something for you when you combine all the parts. This one you need 50 to make a target dummy, which is freaking awesome, by the way, if I do say so myself. But you need 50, which is a lot. This makes for a hot commodity for players when this expansion drops because everyone, especially veterans, want all the new stuff. So they will buy these off guild traders or in zone chat. These fragments were tradable in the last expansion, so I am assuming they aren't going to make them untradeable this expansion. So I'm almost positive they will be tradable. So if they take the same trend that the mummified Alfiq parts did when the expansion dropped, I remember selling those parts for 20 to 25k gold a piece. A year later, they still sold for about 10k gold a piece. That's pretty good for being a year later. So if you farm this dungeon by just killing bosses and mobs, you get experience and the chance for these fragments. Now, if the same trend continues, there should be another fragment piece in the Nichthinkart public dungeon. I haven't confirmed that yet, but it should be there since it was like that in the previous expansions. This is a great way starting out as a new player, returning player, or even a veteran player to make some gold. As long as you have a few people with you at low levels, you'll be fine, but even then, there will be so many players in this zone since it's new, and you probably will not have that problem. Tip number 2, doing daily quests in solitude. There are 3 daily quest givers right now when you go into the city. There might be a 4th eventually when you complete certain quests. I'm not sure about that yet, but these will be the typical daily quests that you had in all the other expansion and DLC zones. You will need to kill world bosses, you'll need to do delve assignments, and you'll need to complete the new public events, Harrow Storms. These are also shareable with other players, which means you won't have a problem finding people to do these with. You could sit in zone chat all day and do these on multiple characters. And the reason these are so good is they drop motifs sometimes. And the reason that is so good is because historically speaking, when a new DLC or expansion drops, the motifs of that zone are typically higher in price. And I'm talking like 25 to 100k gold per motif. The reason being, again, is they are high in demand, and veteran players or completionists want to acquire the new motifs, so they will be buying them from guild traders. So if you want to farm these, they will stay pretty high priced for a good while. The Elsewhere motifs are still selling pretty decently on traders, and again, we are a year from when that was released. It's all about that supply and demand, you all, and capitalizing on it. And speaking about capitalizing, if you like this content, make sure to heavy attack the bell icon, subscribe, share, and like the video to stay up to date on all my giveaways and content releases. Tip number 3, doing antiquities. These are the new non-combat activity that players can do that is basically archaeology. I do want to mention that some of these antiquities or leads that you will get will span into some DLC or expansion zones. So if you don't have those, the DLC or ESO Plus, you won't be able to do those leads. But if you bought the $60 Greymoor edition, like a lot of you probably did, then you have the Elsewhere, Morrowind, and Somerset zones already included in that. And again, if you have ESO Plus, you will have all the other zones. But if you want, I have an antiquity guide as well that I released last week. That is a beginner guide for anyone confused on how antiquities work. The link will be in the description so you guys can watch that so you guys can understand what they are. But the reason these will be such good money-making methods is because these will drop, again, motifs, furniture, and other items that you can sell for gold. I want to specifically point out the furniture. When Elsewhere dropped, Dragons dropped some of the new furniture plans and all that stuff. These purple plans sold for so much gold, and I saw multiple people buying these in zone chat, and the demand for these and motifs again will be high. So this is an amazing way for brand new players to make gold, since this is a non-combat skill. You can obtain leads to do these by opening chests, looting things, and killing enemies. You can also even obtain more leads from just doing the antiquities itself that you dig up. So these motifs and furniture, along with some other treasure-like items, are going to be a great way to make some gold. Again, since this is a new expansion, this is the reason the prices get driven up for a good bit, because people want the new stuff. They want the new furniture. They want the new motifs. So these are things that you need to capitalize on as a new player, a returning player, a veteran player, because eventually the prices will go down a little bit, but it's a great time to capitalize on these. Now, a few bonus tips that I wanted to throw in there. If you are a high level or experienced at this game, especially in-game content, you can always do the new trial, Kind's Aegis, or you can do Ice Reach and Unhallowed Grave. These are the new dungeons from the Harrowstorm release prior to Greymoor. You can farm motifs in these dungeons and in the trial, and these, again, will be a lot of gold. These typically, from learning from history, the DLC dungeons and the trial motifs are usually a pretty penny on the guild traders. And I didn't put this in my main tips just because I think the entry barrier is pretty high on these, so for most players, this isn't going to be something you can do right away. And another thing I want to mention is the Harrowstorms. These are the new public events like Dolmens in Western Skyrim and Blackreach. I may be making a Harrowstorm guide. I'm not sure yet, but either way, I'm not sure what the drop table on these are yet. It's very hard to complete these in the PTS right now because there's not a lot of players in the PTS currently, and so doing these is really, really difficult. But something I'm wondering is if these will drop furniture plans like Dragons did in Elsewhere. I don't know about that yet, or any other drops besides the overlaying gear that I've gotten, but just keep these in the back of your head as a potential way to make some nice gold. But there you have it, guys and gals, 3 easy ways to make some gold in the Greymoor expansion. Again, if you want to check out my full money-making guide, where I go over a lot of different methods in the game that don't just pertain to Greymoor, then check out that video in the description or at the top of the screen. Otherwise, you can always watch me play live on twitch.tv/brahwegotthis on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. However, this week I'm on vacation, so I'll be back next week. And if you want to join our Discord where you can hang out and play with new and veteran players, as well as get an invite to our guild, check out the Discord link in the description, as well as the Twitch link in the description. But remember to have faith, be great, and I'll see you guys on ESO.